This is the story of a king who laughed at the wrong creature. What happened next, nobody in this jungle ever forgot. And it all started with one small act of pride. The jungle had a king, and everyone knew his name before they ever saw his face. A lion the color of dried wheat, with a mane like a storm cloud and a laugh that carried across 3 valleys. He wasn't cruel exactly. He just never learned that power without patience turns into something ugly. One afternoon, while he was sleeping under the flat shade of a baobab tree, something tickled his paw. He opened one eye and saw a mouse, a small gray unremarkable thing, sitting on his foot like it belonged there. Kale didn't even bother standing up. He just looked at the mouse the way you'd look at a crumb on a clean table. "You woke the king of this jungle," he said. "For what?" "A walk." The other animals nearby, a few gazelles, a hornbill in the branches, started to snicker. That was all Kale needed. He picked the mouse up by the tail, held it in the air like a trophy, and said loud enough for the whole clearing to hear, "Look at this. The bravest thing in the jungle. Should we build it a statue?" The mouse didn't struggle. It just looked at him steady and said, "One day you'll need me and you'll remember this." Kale laughed so hard he had to sit down. He dropped the mouse in the dirt and walked off, still laughing, telling the story to every animal he passed for the rest of the day. The mouse picked itself up, brushed the dust off, and went home. It didn't cry. It didn't plot revenge. Just remembered. Weeks passed. The dry season came in hard that year, and with it came the hunters. Kale had never worried about hunters before. He was fast, he was strong, and he knew the jungle better than anyone. But hunters don't fight fair, and one morning while he was cutting through a stretch of tall grass he'd walked 100 times before, the ground gave way beneath him. A net. Heavy rope, hidden under leaves, rigged to snap shut the second something stepped in the wrong place. Kale went down hard, tangled from shoulder to paw, and the more he thrashed the tighter it pulled. He roared, the kind of roar that used to make the whole jungle go quiet, but this time nobody came running. Nobody was afraid of a trapped lion. They were afraid of the hunters who'd be back soon to check it. He was still fighting the ropes when he heard something small moving through the grass. It was the mouse. Kale actually laughed, even then, even stuck in a net with his ribs aching. "Perfect," he muttered. "Come to watch, have you?" The mouse didn't answer right away. It just walked closer, studied the ropes, and started to chew. Not fast, not dramatic, just steady patient work, one thin strand at a time, exactly the kind of small, unglamorous effort that a king like Kale had never once had to rely on. It took almost an hour. Kale stopped joking around the 20-minute mark. By the 40-minute mark he'd gone completely quiet, watching this animal he'd once dangled in the air like a party trick, working without complaint to save the life of the one who'd humiliated him. When the last rope finally snapped, Kale didn't move for a second. He just lay there free, staring at the mouse like he was seeing it for the first time. "Why?" he asked. "After what I did to you?" The mouse sat back on its heels, catching its breath. "Because I'm not you," it said. "I don't decide who's worth helping based on their size." Kale didn't say anything clever back. For once he didn't have anything clever to say. He got up slowly, shook the dirt from his mane, and for the first time in longer than he could remember, he didn't tell the story to anyone. He didn't need the jungle to hear it. He just needed to sit with it. From that day the animals noticed something different about their king. He still ruled. He was still strong. But when the smaller creatures spoke, he actually listened. When the young ones made mistakes, he gave them a second look before he gave them a verdict. Because somewhere under that baobab tree, he'd learned the one lesson strength alone can never teach you. The size of a hand doesn't decide the size of its help. And the ones you're quickest to dismiss are sometimes the only ones who'll show up when everyone else has already left.